our special weekly class. Today we've got two dynamic, amazing ladies who are going to be sharing something on the benefits of essential oils. Michele and Alison, part of our team, we're so thrilled to be able to hand over, sit back, relax, and enjoy our special class with you today. Go for it.
Cool. Hello, guys. Okay. I don't know about this recording, but I'm not keen on being recorded. Okay, guys, what we're going to do today is a little bit different to normal. So normal, people are teaching about the oils, and that's absolutely great. But I've only been doing it a short time, so I'm looking at what I would like to hear from other people. Okay, so it's going to be like a bring and share. So what we'll do, just to give you an idea, is I'm going to tell you, well, Michele will start, but she'll tell you what the oils have done for her. And let's say the main one she talks about is lavender. Then we open the floor, and anybody that has used lavender for a different purpose, if you can explain that. And then we'll go on, I'll tell my story, same thing. And so we'll go around. Okay, so that's, anybody can go onto Facebook and look up to see what's best for varicose veins. I would like somebody to tell me they've used this for varicose veins and it's worked. So that's where I want the interaction to come in. So that'll be the first half. The second half is going to be what you have in your kit that you don't use. And you don't use it because you don't know what to use it for. And you might have something. I mean, I read up on one today. You'll be quite surprised with the one I bring up. But it's something that lots of people have in their kits, and you sort of just ignore it. It's there, but you know, you can use something else instead. So just while we're going through the first half, just think about what you've got in your kit and what you'd like to know how to use it and that sort of thing. Okay, let's start with Michele because we've only got a certain amount of time. Over to you.
Thank you. Morning, everybody. I am not as free and carefree and flow like Alison and Mel, and I generally need a lot more preparation. So it's going to be a very interesting class, but thank you very much for joining. So when Alison and I spoke about this, I started making a list of oils that I use in our house. And so my husband saw this list and he says, "What are you doing?" So I said, "I'm just making a list of all the oils that we are using at the moment." And he looked at the list and he said, "My word, what are you doing with all these oils?" So I agree with Alison. It is nice to sometimes just hear personal experience and hear everybody's story. And depending on where you are, that will resonate with you. So I'm going to just touch on a few oils that I really enjoy. And I must say, we drink our lemon water first thing in the morning, but one of my ultimate favorites at the moment is grapefruit. And I mix that with wild orange some days, and some days I mix it with some citrus blend. So it's really, really amazing. Grapefruit obviously assists with weight loss. It can help with smoking addiction. So it can help for gallbladder stones. I really, really, truly enjoy that. It is so nice. And my husband don't really like water, and I have now started adding grapefruit and wild orange to his water as well. And he loves it. I've given it to quite a few people to try, and they absolutely enjoy that. So is there anybody else that use grapefruit for anything else other than drinking your water?
There we go.
Sunette.
Well, I can't say that we use it for anything else, but I can tell you my son doesn't like water either, and he does not like tangerine or lemon in the water, but the grapefruit did the trick.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Fantastic.
That's interesting for kids.
Yes, very nice. Oh,
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Okay, well then,
can I add? I'll add just in terms of the emotional side of this amazing oil. At one stage, we couldn't get grapefruit, okay, because people absolutely loved it, fell in love with it as an addition. So experiment a little bit with it. I add a couple of, so I like mine a little bit stronger, okay, but I add a couple of drops of wild orange and lemon and grapefruit to my water. It's amazing. Okay, so try it, experiment, and see. And I want to tell you, I have a grandson. He's 18 months old. He loves it as well. So it's a little game that we play. Granny has some, and then Michael has some. Granny has some. So it's really great. So from an emotional perspective, this is a good one if you've got people that are battling with their own body image. Okay, so very important. This is going to start dealing on an emotional level with body shame. And it helps with self-acceptance. And it's very, very good if there are people who have negative habits in their lives. Remember, Michele said it in terms of the addictions and helping in that way. This one with negative habits, it really, and I don't really understand how it does it. I just know that it does. Okay, so this particular one supports individuals who are struggling to honor their body. So if that's for you yourself, or possibly for somebody that you love and care about, it really is for those who've abused their body in some form or another, maybe body weight. This is one that I've added to my daily routine, not because I had a bad body image, but guess what? It's been part of my weight management plan. And this is my go-to one every time. So if you have somebody who's battling with judging their body weight, good one to go for. How are you going to use it? Actually, you can diffuse it. So that's another way. I personally don't diffuse it, but it can be diffused. You can put it, apply it to your wrists and over your tummy. And you can also put 1 or 2 drops under your tongue in a capsule or with water. So from an emotional perspective, those are ways that you can use it. Remember, it is a citrus oil, so you're not going to be smearing it all over your body and going out in the sun, okay? Always be mindful, because citrus, you've got a sensitivity for 12 hours generally. So even if you're going put a tiny bit on your wrist, if that's the way that you enjoy it. That's not personally how I use it, but I know that it's very useful for some people. So that's grapefruit, amazing oil.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, just on the note side, crib notes. Yeah, hormone imbalance and adrenal support. Also good for lymphatic system and the gallbladder.
Very
so
nice.
That was quite interesting. It's got the hormone support as well. So those ladies going through their time of life, that's something that's nice drinking every day with a little bit of the hormone support.
Oh.
Okay, anything else on the grapefruit?
Okay, so then my second all-time favorite oil is lavender. I think lavender is just amazing. I use lavender in the morning. I use lavender and adaptive, and I'll tell you a little bit later about adaptive, when I have a stressful meeting. And then obviously at night when I start my sleep protocol, I put my balance and serenity, which I'll tell you a little bit about a bit later. But I also then put some lavender on my hands, take some deep breaths in and out. I absolutely love lavender. I love the smell. It is instant calming effect, no matter where you are. We have a super active dog, and we have mixed lavender and cedarwood for her, and she's so cute. If I say to her, Tina, are you misbehaving? Then she's already sitting and waiting for a spray. So, and it works instantly. Within 10 minutes, Tina's calm and relaxed. So for me, absolutely the one oil that you have to use is lavender. Anybody else enjoying the lavender? Jeanette, you're on mute.
Use it in a different way?
No, I do. What I do is I put it in my lotions. So because it helps with skin and it helps with calming and soothing and so forth. Also, I also recently started a drop in a cup of tea in the evening. So, and I
Yes.
change the lavender with the Roman chamomile every so often. And I don't do it every night, but when I do feel just need a little bit extra to sleep well, yeah, the lavender does the trick beautifully, and it's really amazing for skin. It wasn't the only oil I used. With last week's event that we had with Addison, I actually gave Dalian a bit of Intune, and the Intune bottle was broken. So I cut my finger really badly. And the lavender, that cut is almost gone. And for those of you who know, diabetes really compromises healing, wound healing, and those kinds of things. And the cut is almost gone. So, yeah, that's me.
Amazing. Marianne, you've got your hand raised.
You're on mute, love.
There you go. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I've been a bit absent. The mute button didn't want to unmute me now. Yeah, I was a bit absent. I had a horse with AHS. So for you that don't know, that is about only a 20% survival rate if they do get it. So we've been through 2 weeks of a bit of hell, but that's why I want to add my lavender. I've spoke to the essential oil vet, and along with all the stuff I gave him orally and to massage his heart, I steamed him with breathe and lavender and rosemary. And yeah, he just absolutely loved that. He couldn't wait for his steam to come. So yeah, definitely on horses, lavender is actually also great, and it calms them down. It's not just for the lung support, because AHS is almost like COVID for horses. It's not only for their lung support and for their heart, but with the lavender, it calms them down so the heart doesn't exert itself.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Sorry, Marianne, that was lavender, breathe, and?
Rosemary, one drop of each.
Okay.
Sure.
Great. Okay, lavender also, another nice little tip with the lavender is your blood pressure. Okay, that's part of my story next, but it is part of balancing your blood pressure, and that'll come into my story. But the other thing you'll find is if you combine the lavender and the frankincense, it helps, just doing the breathing helps you to focus. Now, if you're like me, my mind is all over the place all the time. So it doesn't help me for that long. I'm going to do it quite often. Yes, it's a nice combination to help you to just zone in for a bit, you know. Clearly, I haven't taken it this morning.
You didn't want to fall asleep at the wheel there.
A bad chance of that.
Okay, so can I share?
Yeah.
The lavender, we all know it's calming. So that's our first go-to thing. But I want to teach you something maybe that you didn't know today. So there are a lot of people that battle to express themselves. They feel unheard. They feel like nobody's listening. And sometimes it's their own inability to communicate effectively. Lavender is an amazing one for that. So if you yourself are feeling unheard, or you feeling you have a loved one, a lot of young people. So this is one that I'm working with my daughter with, okay? So if you're feeling fearful, you're feeling constricted, you're feeling there's a tension, you want to hide, and particularly this unheard space that a lot of people are feeling, especially in these times that we're living in. What you would do is put a couple of drops of lavender literally on your hand. Okay, add a fractionated coconut oil or a carrier oil, and literally look at the screen now. You would put it on your throat, okay? And by doing that, you can put it on your temples. I know Alison and I have spoken about our headaches before. Put it on your temples, and also at the back of your neck. Do that. But the throat is a very important region for feeling unheard and constricted. Okay. This is a beautiful, beautiful oil that hopefully then will be able to provide the support emotionally that they need to begin to express themselves. So yes, we know that lavender is calming, okay? But there's a vulnerability in being able to share your true self, whether it's your feelings or whatever. This lavender then provides that support. It also supports individuals that need, especially if they've been withholding expression. In other words, I'm too afraid to actually express how I'm feeling. This is a beautiful oil to release some of that tension and the constriction that they're feeling. So again, I definitely would be putting it on my neck. And then, and Michele has said it, mentioned it, rub it in your hands and gently cap slow, deep breaths in. So enjoy that fragrance at least 5 to 10 times, okay? And Michele spoke about it helping support her sleep. You want to be doing this about 30 minutes before you go to bed. Why? And again, you can start setting yourself little alarms, okay? Half an hour, because literally it takes a few seconds to go into your brain, 2 minutes to be entering your bloodstream, but it takes 20 minutes for the full effect to be going through your body. So I do this literally at 9:30 every night. Breathe in. By 10 o'clock, let me tell you, I'm ready to go doof. Okay, so just tiny little things, understand. And if you can, if somebody's feeling really, really tense, try and find, and most of us have got smartphones nowadays, make a playlist of your calming, your favorite calming music. For some, maybe it's a worship song. For some, maybe it's a meditative song, but your favorite song. If you can you can actually train your brain so well in terms of put that song on and be breathing and slow, deep breaths in. And literally you will begin to feel, I just have to smell lavender now and I can just go, why? Because I've trained it. And you can train your brain just as we've got to the place where we now have these fight or flight spaces. You can also turn that around and train. So this is a great oil. Just beautiful, beautiful oil for daily use.
Perfect. Okay, Michele.
And then Mel's mentioned headaches. I suffer from migraines and tension headaches, and the one oil that definitely helps for me is peppermint. I even find I woke up with a headache this morning, but it's because I had a chocolate late last night. Some of you that was on earlier heard that we had Know Your Oils last night. So we had pizza and some wine and gin during the meeting. And so I was sitting late last night watching some TV with my husband, and I said to him, I feel like a chocolate. And he says, I thought you want to be good. I said, yeah, but I had pizza earlier. Well, in any case, I had the chocolate, and needless to say, then I woke up with a headache this morning, which wasn't very good. And I thought to myself, it wasn't really worth it. The chocolate, I enjoyed it at the time, but not the headache. So immediately, as I got up, I just put my peppermint on next on my side of my head and at the back of my neck. And for me, I have the peppermint touch, and I've now got it in my bag. The minute that I feel a headache come on, I would just rub it on my shoulders and next to my head. And sometimes I rub it in and smell, but depending on how bad it is. So for me, it is absolutely amazing. If it's a migraine that's very bad, I even make myself some peppermint tea and I put some frankincense. I make a whole concoction. But for me, absolutely, there's nothing, and it's that clean, fresh smell that I love about peppermint. So I sometimes do put it in my tea as well at nighttime. It just depends. I have peppermint, wild orange, and lemongrass in my diffuser in my office that I burn. And for me, that is the best focus blend that you can possibly get. If I know that I want to do lots and I want to move mountains, then that's in my diffuser for the day. I make liters at the time because I just put it on all the time. So for me, peppermint is one of those absolute, it's like lavender. You absolutely have to have it.
Absolutely. Okay, peppermint. Anybody else? On the peppermint side. Well, for me being a smoker, my main use for the peppermint, other than giving me a little wake up every now and again, is the little peppermint balls. So as soon as I'm ready to go into a client, I just pop one of those little peppermint balls, and then I'm happy to say hello. Yeah, it makes my mask smell like peppermint most of the time, but that's okay too.
Oh, very nice.
Nobody else got any other peppermint stories?
Sunetta.
Peppermint is what really. Peppermint is what is one of the oils that has won my husband over, even if he won't admit it. He says the oils are not scientific and it's just smells nice, and yeah, all those kinds of things that we get all the time. But he comes back for peppermint and wild orange every single morning in the diffuser every single morning. So, yeah.
There's a friend of mine whose child suffer from asthma, and normally I would tell them to use the brie, but he finds the peppermint works very well for him. So yeah, in his diffuser, that type of thing, and also on his chest. But obviously you've got to be careful with the peppermint. I mean, my eyes are very sensitive, so I can't put it on my temples or even breathe it in. So I more put it on the back of my neck. Diffuser's fine, and also on my wrists.
Mariana has her hand raised, and then Leandi has got a very, very nice thing that I would like to try for headaches. So let's check with Marianne first, and then we'll share what Leandi has to share.
Well, okay. I hope you can hear me. I see it's a bit slow on this side. I use the peppermint as well for headaches. So also on my temples, at the back of my neck, and also about when we just found out the horse is very sick. I got a bit of a migraine due to stress. So it was also at the back of my neck that the tension was building. I used peppermint there. And then I used a drop of peppermint on my thumb and onto my vremelte. So yeah, that worked great. And like I've mentioned before in other Zooms as well, my son uses the peppermint for focus. So he drinks it in his glass of water when he thinks he needs it. And it works very well for him with his ADHD and yeah, his lack of concentration.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, Mel and I saw somebody about 2 Sundays ago, and she said to us, she feels a bit down, and we did a wild orange and peppermint for her, and she sent a message, and she just said, listen, I don't know what you guys did, but I'm on such a high at the moment. It's absolutely amazing. And she couldn't believe the instant results that she had with peppermint and wild orange. Mel, are you going to share Leandi's
Yeah, this is a very, very interesting one because Leandi says peppermint, headaches, definitely. And she puts it together with copaiba or copaiba, layers, past tense, deep blue, lavender, and frankincense. So Leandi, let us know, are you putting this on your temples? Are you putting this at the back of your neck? How are you using this? But remember, copaiba is amazing in terms of it's going to really amplify whatever oils that you're going to be using. So that's an amazing thing. And then past tense, of course, is an incredible blend, deep blue, lavender, and frankincense. So Leandi, just say how do you put it on the back of your neck, on your temples, how? And then also mentioned is peppermint is brilliant for breaking. Even my husband is using it, rub it, but breathing. between hands and breathing in. Very, very good in terms of supporting, opening up the sinuses and opening up the chest. So that's excellent.
Yeah.
The other thing with peppermint is it's very good for increasing lung capacity. So if you're going to be doing training, and there's some research that's been done on this, so you can go and for those of you who are keen on the science and the research, it increases your lung capacity. So before exercising, have some breaths in. It's also good physically, if there are people that have got, if you don't have deep blue, this is a great one to put on your muscles, because it's actually going to be stimulating those muscles. You can feel it tingling. Something that hasn't been mentioned that I've used it for is you can actually also use it when shampooing your hair. Okay, so you do your first shampoo. In your second shampoo, you put your little bit of shampoo there, and 1 drop of peppermint. You can also use rosemary. You can also use frankincense. Really, really good for your hair and stimulating hair growth. And literally just leave it there, massage it in, leave it there for a little while, and then you can go and wash it off. You actually feel your head tingling. It's quite amazing. So that I found really incredible with peppermint. Okay, so yeah, Leandi's telling us 2 drops of copaiba in the mouth. So this is obviously if you've got a bad headache. Peppermint on the roof of your palate, right there, and then layer on the temples deep blue, past tense, lavender, and frankincense. That sounds amazing. I definitely will give it a try. So I'm just going to repeat that: 2 drops of copaiba in your mouth. Peppermint, you literally just turn your bottle upside down, okay, and then almost like you're sucking your thumb, and then you layer on the temple deep blue, past tense, lavender, and frankincense. That's an amazing combination. Okay, so can I share a little bit about the emotional side of peppermint? And I was very interested on this because it blows me away. Alison says she needs it in the morning, okay, and it picks her up. This is interesting because if you're heavy-hearted, if you are sad, if you need a little bit of optimism, or you need relief, or you've been a bit heavy-hearted, this is one that you're going to go for. People who are pessimistic, this is an oil that they're going to go for. Okay, so you can diffuse it. You can apply it on your chest or on your shoulders, your neck. We've spoken about it. Take 1 or 2 drops under the tongue. That might, but again, remember, please test for yourself. It might be very, very strong, okay? Yes, we know it's great for oral hygiene, and literally if you can't brush your teeth, you literally can put a drop, whether you've got a beadlet like Alison was saying, or literally I just put a drop of peppermint. I got into bed last night, and just before I got into bed, I popped a drop of peppermint straight into my mouth, and my husband, when I got in, went, "Oh, you've done something different today. What did you do?" And literally I normally do frankincense, is the last thing that I put in my mouth, but last night was peppermint, and he noticed it immediately. Wow. Peppermint brings joy and buoyancy to somebody's heart on an emotional level. So it's really a great oil if people are feeling a little bit down. And that's why so many love it first thing in the morning. Okay. It can invigorate, yes, your body, and you feel that. Okay. You feel invigorated when you breathe in peppermint, but it also works on your mind and your spirit. And it's this subliminal messaging that reminds you actually that life can be happy, and that they don't have to be controlled by fear. So this is a great oil to lift people up. It can help you in times of discouragement, and maybe when you're feeling a little bit despair. And you can literally use this oil. And I love, love, love to add a drop of wild orange. Why? Because yes, physically you're like, whoa, it's like the shot, okay? But also it can help people in being reminded about the joy of being alive. And for me, that's an amazing thing. So peppermint is an absolute beauty. Enjoy this very, very special oil.
So I've got quite a few still, but I think we're going to run out of time. So my very last oil before I hand over to Ali is adaptive. So that is my new favorite oil. I am, for my sins, I'm also the chairperson of an old age home here in East London. And some days I think, what did I do to actually accept that position? However, it's not always bad, but we've had quite a few stressful meetings, or meetings that I perceived before the time that was going to be stressful. So before I leave, I put adaptive and lavender on my hands, rub it together, breathe in a couple of times, and it just brings me that sense of calm and clarity that I need. I absolutely, seriously love it. It is so well known in our house at the moment that when I go anywhere, either my son or my husband will say, "Did you put your adaptive on?" Because for me, that is just amazing. And so when I was looking at what oils to speak about, I looked up on adaptive. Adaptive is our calming blend. It's also good for PTSD, hyperactivity, and for bipolar. So my family sometimes say that I'm borderline bipolar. Maybe that is the case, and maybe that's why adaptive is so good for me. But I really, really, it's amazing. I've also put adaptive with lavender in my diffuser at night. Sometimes I put adaptive and breathe in my diffuser. So I have really, really, truly started enjoying adaptive. And Leandy says adaptive for 16-year-old. She had a red rash all over her body from stressful situation. I gave adaptive touch. It is much better. Yeah, Leandy, I must be honest. I agree with you. For me, it works just as good as lavender, and the two together is absolutely amazing. I don't know. Anybody else that has enjoyed adaptive, have used adaptive?
Michelle, I just want to say, you're talking about in the morning. One thing that's sort of phrased differently is it says adaptive releases anxiety, anxiousness, nervous tension. So maybe, yeah, so it doesn't just calm you, it releases that nervousness.
That feeling. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I can definitely testify to that. So before I go into a meeting, and it's been a board meeting at 4:00 in the afternoon, or a general special meeting, and I have that feeling in my stomach, I use adaptive. And maybe that's why it's so good, because it then releases. It definitely, it does relieve that.
Does anyone else use adaptive? Quite interesting.
Jeanette, deel met ons.
I do, yes. But I have two different favorites at the moment. But adaptive is amazing. I instead of putting all the touch bottles in my handbag, I put adaptive in, so that when I am outside and I need to rush to get things done, because I try and, with everything going on, fit in most things in one day to, when I need to leave the house. And adaptive is the one that I take with to cover those things when I go out and I need to rush and do it, all kinds of different things. And yeah.
Oh, wow.
Great.
Mel, the emotional side.
Mel?
Yeah, listen, adaptive. Now, maybe this would be interesting for you, but many of you have said how you enjoy adaptive and the benefits of it. But do you realize what's in adaptive? That is going to blow your mind, because it's copaiba, it's lavender. So Michelle said quite a few times how she mixes it with lavender. It has wild orange in, and remember, we've chatted quite a bit about wild orange, how it's lifting up, etc., etc. It's got spearmint in it. So remember the peppermint and the emotional benefits of that. It's mint. So mint has got incredible emotional support, neroli, and sweet gum. But before I tell you about that, we're going to give an opportunity to Marianne to share about how adapters helped her. Go for it, Marianne.
Okay. Also, during this hectic time, I also had a friend that OD'd on crystal meth that I needed to assist.
Sure.
He survived, luckily. But when I got there, he was in a lot of panic attacks and he struggled to breathe. So I just got my adaptive with my BOGO deal. And when I left home to go to him, I just grabbed the smallest bag. That is actually right here. I'll show you. This is my 10 basic oils with a little bit of extra. But that's the one that I use on a regular basis, that travel case travels everywhere with me. So I grabbed the adaptive and I threw it in there, and we went to him, and I didn't really know what to use it. It was very stressful, but I started using the adaptive, and I rolled it here at the back of his neck and on his pulse. And every time he had that anxiety attack, or the panic, it subsided once I put on the adaptive. So that's the one. And the other one I had recently was a 5-year-old boy. The parents phoned me. They know that I struggle with my own son with concentration and ADHD and all of that. So they asked for some help, and I gave them the vetiver and ylang that we diffuse. But also this little boy is on 60 milligrams of Ritalin daily, as well as antidepressants. And he's also been through a lot. He was 2 years old when they were in a car accident, and his parents died. So he's an adopted child. And on that day that I went to give him his medicine, I also gave him adaptive because he has this huge anger problem as well. He had an outburst at school. So we put an adaptive on him, and he immediately calmed down. And when his mother came there, she said, well, this is the first time during an anger outbreak that he was this calm. So he's also on the adaptive. And on that day, it's very interesting. It's just something that I want to share with you. But on that day, it was exactly 4 years after the accident that he had that major anger issue. So yeah, he is also on adaptive, and it's working very great for him as well.
That's
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
awesome.
Amazing. So I'm going to
Wow.
throw it in here. Adaptive is going to be working very well emotionally. Just a thought, Marianne, in terms of especially anger, there's a number of oils that support anger particularly. Forgive is one of those. And also past tense. So you don't have to do both. There are also other oils. We're talking about lang lang, we're talking about geranium and turmeric, which you can take internally. Obviously, lang lang, you can put a drop here. You don't have to have all of them, but those will certainly support him starting to deal, especially a young child doesn't really know how to express. A lot of us as adults, we battle to express our emotions. So you might find that to just give a little bit more support. And the beauty is that forgive and past tense are in roller blend. So that might be nice for him, particularly along, obviously, with the adaptive, because they're supporting different spaces. The one particularly is the emotional side of the calming and the anxiety. If you look at what is adaptive really supporting, going anxiety, going worry, it's also when somebody's very self-critical, that's some or needing to be controlling. A lot of times there are people who are wanting to control certain situations because possibly they feel out of control. And again, if we just look at that little boy, he definitely was feeling out of control in that situation. There's also another thing, self-acceptance and needing to be upheld. Okay. So think about somebody who needs to have this feeling of being held and safe. Okay. So it works on two different levels. Adaptive, also there's a spiritual element to adaptive. Okay. So it's interesting how some people are going to be more drawn to this oil. Okay. It was really formulated when doTERRA put this blend together. They were looking at people, and it's incredible how this came out before COVID. Okay, so it wasn't about, we had to find a solution. It was they'd created this because people were in really anxious states. And it suited the world where the world was exactly through the lockdown. But it provides a reassurance and a calm on an emotional level for people. So this is really, really a good oil. This is a calming blend. Now, we've spoken in the past about Serenity also as a calming blend. They're both calming blends, but they have different, I'm going to say very much different fragrances. The Serenity is more floral overtone and a fragrance, whereas the adaptive has more a minty. Remember when we said what's in it? It's spearmint is quite prominent in it, and with the wild orange and the lavender. So this is really going to be a personal preference. Which one? So Marianne, specifically for the little boy, I would give him the Serenity and I would give him the adaptive, and he chooses. We've also shown you in the past how it maybe if the person if they like both, their body will tell you which one it needs. And so that's really a very strong way of seeing which one. If you've got a lot of stresses, a lot of fears, adaptive is an amazing oil to go for. And then on a spiritual level, okay, adaptive is conveying, and think specifically maybe of a situation you're in. On a spiritual level, this beautiful oil combines to convey this truth that yes, life is beyond our control, but there is someone who is of the divine. For some of us, that is the Almighty that we believe in, okay? But some people just call that the divine and other things. But for me, this oil from a spiritual level is helping us understand that God is in control. And sometimes it's out of our hands, and safety is found in the divine, is found in him who is holding us in a safe place. And so this is an incredible oil. So think about some of the people that have already shared their space, okay? Michelle is saying this one, and she didn't say it in the words, but now think back. Possibly, is it because she feels held in that space? Marianne, even for the little boy, that he feels held in that space that he's at. So this is really, really an amazing oil that's working on so many different levels.
Absolutely. Okay, Ali, we've taken quite a lot of time, so we're probably going to run out of time, but please share your oils.
Okay, well, I'll just be quick. Grinding of the teeth. I think some of you haven't heard this, but I ground my teeth. So the front teeth I had to have redone because I actually ground them right off. What I've been doing is at night, I just put Serenity along my jaw and on the muscle here. And that's had a huge, huge help. I want to go on to Zengest. Okay, I'm going to skip a lot of mine. I'm just going to go on to Zengest. When I get very stressed from work, so it's not a normal stress, it's a work stress. I get this pain in the bottom of my stomach that it actually cripples me sometimes. So it's normally around the end of the month. And the Zengest, I put in my belly button and just around it. And within 10 minutes, it's gone. And it's the only thing. I had tried so many different tablets to get rid of that pain before. And it's gone. So Zengest is the one I'll talk about. But just so you all know, if you've got some sort of pain somewhere that's not muscular, I get a pain just at my ribs here and just under my boob, first ribs there, that I get it once a month for 2-3 days. And the one day Mel and I were sitting at the cedar camp, and she quickly mixed something up for me, which she can put the recipe on. And I also had tried all different things. It wasn't muscular, you see. And I put that on, and within half an hour it was gone, and I didn't have it for the rest of the day. So I did the same thing the next morning and the following morning. And I do that every month when I have it. Okay, so going back to Zengest, we're rushing now. Michelle, you had something to say about Zengest?
Yes, absolutely. So I've heard Mel a couple of times telling the story about Zengest and how it's helped her family. Instead of using Gaviscon, they've used Zengest. I try and not eat too many rich foods these days so that I don't get heartburn. But the past weekend we were in Hogsback, and on the Friday night, my son said, "Mum, I need some Gaviscon." And he took Gaviscon out of the car, 2 of those little sachets. And he says, "But, oh, Mum, it's still sore." So I said, "Well, use the Zengest." He said, No, thank you." So on the Saturday, there was no more Gaviscon. So I said, my boy, let me use the Zengest and Zindocrine, and let me just mix it in a little bit of water for you and just try. He said, okay, well, Mom, I'm really desperate because it's burning. And literally, I just took 2 drops of each in a little bit of water, and I said to him, I could drink it. Within 15 minutes, he says, Mom, I cannot believe how quick this stuff is. It's amazing. And so on Saturday, he wanted to do the same again. So now, even Monday morning, he says, Mom, can I just quickly have a bit of that stuff just in case? So for him, it was absolutely instantly. It's amazing. I honestly can't believe. I was showing the team last night. So those 2 little bottles is in my kitchen at the moment. I dare not move them because it works so instantly. I love the smell. It's quite a nice licorice taste as well. And my son generally won't try these things. He thinks his mother's airy-fairy as is. But for him, just to experience that and that instant relief sold that for him. So I don't think we're going to use Gaviscon from here on. We will definitely just use the Zengest.
Okay, anyone else for Zengest? I must admit, it's one oil I never used to use and I use every day.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to tell people, we know breathe, we know that it supports the respiratory system, but if you don't have breathe and you've got sinusy issues, literally you can take your Zengest and you can just put it over the bridge of your nose, just like that. And that will support it and start to clear the airwaves. So yes, my first go-to is always going to be breathe for respiratory, but if you don't have that and you've got Zengest, you can use Zengest. So it's really a great one.
Amazing. Okay, Ellie, you've got another 5 minutes. So do you have
I'm
another?
going to no, we must move on. I want to hear the other ladies. Let's go to Marianne.
Well, I have talked so much about Zengest, but yeah, Zengest is just awesome. It has replaced that 9 items. I'm sure you're all familiar with the price comparison that I did on the Zengest, with people saying, oh, the oils is expensive. It's not. Just swap where you shop. So yeah, Zengest is awesome for us as well. I have a little girl of 2 years old in Joburg that is struggling with constipation majorly, and the doctors just don't know exactly what to do with anymore. They don't have any advice. So Zengest, we've tried with her, and that's the only thing that keeps her regular. So she is on the Zengest, and yeah, I'm using it in my own home. And even my brother-in-law, he struggled to decide if this oil is working or not, or the oils in general. And then my sister gave him a bit of Zengest after heartburn, and then he messaged me and said, oh, it's working. So yeah, it's definitely a nice oil to have.
Very good. Yeah.
Tell me the constipation. How does she take it?
They rub it on her tummy. So she's still very small. So she's not taking it internally. They're just rubbing it diluted on her tummy, and that assists her a lot.
And then an adult Mel, would they take it orally as well?
Yeah, I would go to, you know what, Zengest is one you should be using daily, and popping it into your capsule, go 2 drops a day. Since I got my kit, okay, I didn't use it in the beginning, and after about 2 months, I started using it every single day of my life since then. I've been using 2 drops daily. I've only had 2 days in the last year and a bit that I've had a little tummy issue. Because of the tummy issue, I would still have the 2, and you can then drop it straight into where your belly button is, because it's very quickly absorbed into your tummy area. With a little one that can't take it in, you can Google it, or we will put it on our WhatsApp group. It's called the I Love You massage. I love you massage, beautiful little technique that you can use with little people. And again, you're always going to be gentle with the baby or with a little person or with an older person. The I love you massage is incredible. Mix your Zen Gest with, so whether you've got, and this is amazing, whether you've got diarrhea, constipation, or you've got your cramps in the tummy, Zen Gest is going to be your go-to one. Put a drop, put some fractionated coconut oil, and then do the I love you massage. So, so yeah, I know we've got some lovely testimonies. Leondi said, my mother-in-law had a stomach sore and very bloated. She used Zen Gest internally for several months, then added turmeric. And now she doesn't drink any of it because she's so much better. So, wow, that is an amazing testimony to Zen Gest. And then Justine says she can attest to Zen Gest for constipation. It's a problem that she's had since baby days into youth. And she used to use psyllium husks, Zen Gest in water in the morning, rub it on the tummy for menstrual cramps too, and also assists with constipation. So, wow, it's amazing.
Wow,
Please, if
that
you're
is
wanting
amazing.
to comment, just use your little raise hand as a participant, and we would love to hear your story, or just unmute yourself and share. So, Alison, were you asking what is something we've got in our kit that we don't use? Is that was that your question, or were you asking?
What about the other people? We were going to do.
Yes.
So don't they want to say what's been nice for them, what oils they've used, and what's gone nicely for them?
Okay, so the class is open, and Alison would love to hear from you if you can unmute yourself and tell us what you love using out of your kit. If you would like to just speak in Afrikaans, you're welcome to do that, because I know first language for some is not English, so you are most welcome.
Or if there's an oil in your kit that you don't use at the moment because you're not quite sure what the uses are, now's the time to ask. So I'm going to put Mel and Alison on the spot. Patchouli, what is that for? Please share. Yes.
Okay.
Patchouli is a wonder oil to make kids go to sleep.
Okay, share, please.
We combine patchouli with lavender and I think a drop of ylang ylang into a little roller ball and under the feet of the kids half an hour before they go to bed. And
wow.
It really helped them to sleep much better, more calmly throughout the night.
So how many drops do you use, Courtney?
We use about 5 in total. Just two patchouli, 2 lavender, 1 ylang ylang. I think because the little one is still little, so and then diluted with FCO in a 10 ml bottle. Patchouli is also a very earthy smell, which works really well for emotionally balancing yourself, calming yourself. And it's also used very well for if you want to make perfumes and stuff as one of the bottom notes. Men smells as well works very well for the males as well.
Oh wow! Thank you. That's amazing.
Anybody else on patchouli?
Be careful with Mariana. Are you going to share something with patchouli?
No. I'm no expert on patchouli, but what I can tell you is that I think to go like journeys or seasons through your journey. There's seasons in your journey with oils. So the first oil that was just great for me was Breathe. I was totally in love with Breathe. And now at this moment, I can't single out one single oil because I love them all. But then it was Deep Blue. And now at this stage where I'm now in my life, it's Flume. So I'm sure you're all familiar with Flume, but it's frankincense, lemon, oregano, on-guard, and tea tree. And that was the main ingredient to getting my horse through his COVID. So yeah, I say to other people as well, it's just amazing how doTERRA put the kit together, because I can't think that of the 10 basic oils that you can't use, that there's one oil that you don't use. Because if you have those 5 oils for flume, there's only 5 left. And now I need my bag in front of me because I don't want to miss one. But then you get the peppermint for the fevers and the headaches, and deep blue for the sore muscles, and zenges that we just spoke about, lavender that we had a lot of testimonies about, and then breathe. So that's definitely the oils that you need to get everyone through all ailments. And then, yeah, it's just amazing, the 10 basic oils.
Absolutely. I don't think if we had to sit for 100 years that we would find a better 10 oils to put into that kit. I love, we've got some more sharing here. I enjoy Zendocrine and Smart and Sassy, 1 drop of each in a liter of water. Zendocrine, amazing for detoxing your body. Smart and Sassy, certainly for helping your body's metabolism. Also helps if you've got cravings, and certainly is positioning your body, both of those, for better weight management. So thank you for sharing that. Yes, yes, yes. Leandi, she's got a testimony. Her mother was struggling with a bladder infection. And Darlene recommended that she drink Zendocrine and Smart and Sassy as a prevention, and she doesn't struggle with that anymore. So bladder infection, Zendocrine, Smart and Sassy. Wow, wow, wow. So I just want to just pick up patchouli before we leave that one. And again, for somebody that has, I heard, like Courtney, that it's amazing for sleep. Okay, so I used to have to use sleeping tablets to go to sleep. So when I heard about patchouli, I was like, great, how do you use it? And they said, just put 1 drop on your pillow. I said, great, because you know me, I'm going to try anything once. And I put a drop of patchouli on my pillow. Well, I want to tell you, it was like a night from hell. We need to test our oils out. Patchouli was for me. Clearly, my body did not need it that night. It was so strong. And it was on my pillow. And I have a special pillow because of my neck injury. I was bucked off of a horse when I was 10 years old. And I've had back and neck problems ever since then. And so I have to have a special pillow to sleep on. So it's not like, oh, just chuck the pillow out, and air it. No, I had to sleep with that pillow. And I want to tell you, through the night, you just have this complete consciousness that, my head. Anyway, I want to tell you, I had a headache through the night and a migraine the next day. So be careful. And if you are more sensitive like me, clearly to smells, don't just do that. Put it on your pillow. So patchouli is really a great one. And you're going to hear now from an emotional perspective of what it does. Okay. But it's going to be very grounding. So that's why it's such a strong smell. Okay. And that aroma, it helps you if you are battling with confidence. Another oil, this one is for specifically for people who are battling with body acceptance. If they need to feel a little bit more stable and a little bit more balanced, this is an oil for them. So the interesting thing is this one actually helps your body and your mind, physical body, become a little bit more balanced and integrated with your emotional space. So if for those people who are feeling a bit uneasy and a bit all over the place, patchouli is a great one to integrate my body, mind, and spirit. It's going to calm fear and nervous tension. It's going to be a great one for that. And it stills your spirit and your mind. So it's a great oil, but it's one that you need to test and learn from my crazy mistake. Okay, so this is not an oil that I used to go to sleep with. It's one that I tried desperately to sleep with, and it messed it up completely. So be careful, but it's a great oil.
Okay, we're running very short on time. Has anybody else got an oil that's in their box that they don't know what to use for?
Well, anybody thinks, I just want to read that Justine also says patchouli is good for hair also and hemorrhoids. So thank you very much for sharing that.
We didn't mention the bladder infection one. Justine mentioned a drop of lemongrass in water or orange juice for bladder infection. Okay, there's a question, and Courtney, we're going to throw this one to you because I know I was in a class and you did a talk on this. Black spruce. Leandi wants to know, what do we use black spruce for? And this is a beaut, isn't it? Courtney, are you happy to take this one?
Yes, black spruce is a lovely oil. The one that stands out, and I'm busy opening my PowerPoint to get my clip notes. The best use for black spruce that I've personally found is for the it increases male testosterone levels consistently. So give one to your husband on a daily basis, 1 drop a day, and you will definitely relax a bit better. And there's some other things that it also do. It release emotional blockages. It also helps to improve sleep. It boosts your immune systems. It helps also to calm you down. It's a great, again, beard serum. Now, I'm pretty sure that one of you ladies wanted to know that one. And it also helps you with body confidence, just give you a boost to accept your body as well.
He is our resident pro, Courtney is. Baie donkey, Courtney. That's wonderful. It's amazing how the oils can support so many different spaces. Black spruce, think about it, and you must think where this black spruce is an incredibly beautiful tree. Okay, so how is it going to help us? It's grounding and it's stabilizing. So if you feel a little bit all over the place, Courtney mentioned it in terms of grounding, but think about that tree. And for you and I, it gives us stability and it gives us grounding. So it's really a great oil. If you're feeling exhausted, this is another oil that is really, really good for you. And if you need stability, black spruce is definitely going to be a great one in dealing with that for you. We're going to have another one. Didn't they do such a great job, Alison and Michelle? Wow, wow, wow. Okay, we're gonna. Do you want to just answer that question, Courtney? How would you take black spruce? Because there's a number of ways that you can take it.
I put together a little veggie cap on a daily basis, and two drops of lemon in there, 2 copaiba, 2 turmeric, because I got a golfer's elbow from playing church organ, and then I put the 1 drop of black spruce in there as well. So and then I drink it all with a glass of water in the evenings. So everything helps me to sleep lacquer. It keeps the muscles relaxed to take the pain away. Yeah, so it really helps throughout the night for all the aches and pains and sleep and everything that is good for your body.
Fantastic. You can diffuse it. You can breathe it in if that is one way that you're wanting to take it in. You definitely can apply it to your lower back. Use a fractionated coconut oil. Yes. You can apply it to your lower back. You can also put it across your forehead. Another way, if you're wanting the stability, the grounding, the balancing, you can then also apply it under the soles of your feet. So it can be taken in numerous ways. So black spruce is really, really great. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to stop the recording now, but I just